Hey class, Mr. Pusky here. Hope you're having a good day so far. I'm actually recording this video for the second time. I recorded it the first time and it didn't work, so I wasted a half hour of my day today. So pretty awesome, but I hope you guys are doing well. So I'm recording it again because it is important to go through this stuff. So this will be posted for you to watch and to kind of learn how to do the word problems. And most of these word problems, like I mentioned in class, are very similar to the last problem on the lesson that we did, but I just thought we'd spend some time going through each of these, okay? All right, so let's get into it here. So a couple things to talk about. So before we had two different ways to approach these here. We had a quantity and value type equations that we would set up, or like person 1 and person 2. Or what you're looking for is cost or value, I guess. So for these kind of problems, you're looking for quantity. And for these problems, you're looking for cost or value. I'm going to put value, actually. So there's two ways to approach these kind of problems here. So this one, we're looking for cost, or how much things cost, or how many things there are like in a certain item. And these quantity ones are more like, I have, each bread costs $3, and it's kind of hard to explain. Well, I guess it's just been hard because I went through this already. But so yeah, we're mostly doing the second one today. Okay, where we're looking for a value. All right, and all these problems are very similar. They're going to be the same kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get into it. And you guys will see what I'm talking about here. Okay. All right, let's erase this stuff. Okay, question 1. Adam and Angie each improved their yards by planting hostas and geraniums. They bought their supplies from the same store. Adam spent $136 on 8 hostas and 12 geraniums. Angie spent $138 on 4 hostas and 13 geraniums. Find the cost of 1 hosta and the cost of 1 geranium. So for this problem, both Adam and Angie they bought a combination of 2 different items. And we're looking for the cost. So our x and y, let's use the actual pen, I guess. So you're going to call x and y what you're looking for. So x we're going to call the cost of a hosta. And we're going to call y the cost of geranium. Okay? And then then what we're going to do is we have a combination of hostas and geraniums for Adam and Angie. So we're going to make one equation for Adam. That's not how you spell Adam. And one equation for Angie. Okay? So we're just going to set it up. So basically when you're setting up these problems, so like Adam, he got 8 hostas and 12 geraniums. Well, how much you spent on hostas depends on how many hostas you had, which would be 8, right? Times the cost of each hosta, which is x, right? If I have, 3 sodas and they each cost $2, it's going to be 2 times 3, which is 6. Same thing here. If I have 8 hostas and they each cost x dollars, it's going to be 8 times x, right? Does that make sense? All right. And he also bought 12 geraniums, so it's going to be 12 geraniums he bought times the cost of each geranium, which is y. And he spent a total of $136. Okay, so that's Adam's equation, equation 1. Angie, okay, she got 4 hostas, so 4x, plus 13 geraniums, 13y, is going to equal what she spent total, which is 138. All right, now we have our 2 equations here. So what do you guys think? Is this a substitution problem or a elimination problem? I would say an elimination problem because we don't have a 1x or a 1y we're working with here. We have just all kinds of stuff. And what we want to get rid of here, I probably would steer clear of the y's, because multiplying by opposites to get opposites of 13 and 12 is kind of tricky. But what's the opposite of 8? It's negative 8. Can we get negative 8 by multiplying, the 4x by something to get negative 8? We can. We can multiply the bottom by what? Negative 2. So we're going to distribute the negative 2 to all of these. So that one of these things is going to cancel. So we have 8x to write the top equation the way it is, plus 12y equals 136. And on the bottom, we're going to have negative 8x. Negative 2 times 13y is negative 26y. And then we have negative 2 times 138 is negative 276. And this is the whole point of elimination. Now we have opposites. The 8x's are going to cancel. They go to 0. 12y minus 26y is negative 14y. 136 minus 276 is negative 140. Solving for y, we're going to divide by negative 14. So y is going to be equal to, what's that, 10. $10 for geranium. Okay, so that's one of our answers. We found the $10 per geranium. Now let's solve for x. So we got to solve for x by plugging into one of the original equations. I'm going to plug into the 4x plus 13y equals 138. I'm going to take this 10. I'm going to plug it in for y because y equals that. So I'm going to plug it in now. So I got 4x plus 13 times 10 equals 138. 13 times 10 is 130. Equals 138. Solving for x now, we're going to get 4x alone, so we're going to subtract 130. So we're going to get 4x equals 138 minus 130 is 8. Divide by 4 to get x alone. So x is going to equal $2 per hosta. Okay? And our final answer is not, I mean, it is x equals $2 per hosta, y equals $10 per geranium, but our final answer, this is an ordered pair, which would be x and y, which would be 2, 10. That's your final answer. That's your solution where they would cross on the graph. But you could leave, this is the important 2 down here, okay? All right, number 2, we're going to cruise along here. This whole lesson took a long time before, so I want to make sure we get through this in a timely manner here. Casey and Mike are selling wrapping paper for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy rolls of plain wrapping paper and rolls of holiday wrapping paper. Casey sold 12 rolls of plain wrapping paper and 10 rolls of holiday wrapping paper for a total of $358. Mike sold 10 rolls of plain wrapping paper and 2 rolls of holiday wrapping paper for a total of $178. What is the cost each of 1 roll of plain wrapping paper and 1 roll of holiday wrapping paper? All right, so what are we looking for? We're looking for the cost, so we're going to call x. That's going to be the cost of plain wrapping paper, and we're going to call y the cost of holiday wrapping paper. We need 2 equations. Well, we have 2 people, and they're each like selling a combination of 2 things here, so we're going to have Casey and Mike. One equation Casey, one equation Mike. Okay, then we're just going to write what we know. So Casey sold 10, let me zoom in a little bit. Casey sold 10 plain wrapping, no, 12, sorry, I goofed up. 12 plain wrapping paper times x, right? Each x is the cost of each plain wrapping paper, so 12 times x, plus, and then we have holiday wrapping paper he sold 10y equals the total he spent or he earned is $358. And then Mike sold, that's where the 10x came from, 10x plus 2 wrapping paper times y equals 178. All right, so again here, probably not going to use substitution. I'm probably going to use elimination. Can we multiply either the x's or the y's to get opposites really easily? I'd probably multiply, the opposite of 10 is negative 10, so I could probably multiply the bottom by 2 times negative 5 is going to be negative 10, which is the opposite, which is nice. So we're going to multiply that. We're at the top equation, 12x plus 10y equals 358. Then we're going to multiply the bottom, negative 5 times 10x is negative 50x minus 10y equals negative 890. Add straight down. Y's are going to cancel. 12 minus 50 is negative 38x equals negative 532. Divide by negative 38. And x is going to be equal to $14 per each plain wrapping paper. All right, then we got to plug that in to solve for y now. So I'm going to plug into the bottom equation. So 10x plus 2y equals 178. So we're going to plug in 14 in for x because x equals 14. So we got 10 times 14 plus 2y equals 178. 10 times 14 is 140 plus 2y equals 178. Subtract 140 to get 2y by itself. 2y equals, it's going to be 38. Divided by 2, y is going to be equal to $19 per holiday. You guys can pause the video here if you need to catch up a little bit, but we're going to cruise along and get going. So our final answer actually should be, our final answer to x and y should be 14, 19. It's going to be your final answer. And yeah. All right, moving on. The school that Shauna goes to is selling tickets to a play. On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 7 adult tickets and 6 student tickets for a total of $135. The school took in $25 on the second day by selling 1 adult ticket and 2 student tickets. What is the price each of 1 adult ticket and 1 student ticket? All right, so again, what we're looking for is going to be our x and y. So let's call x, let's call that cost adult tickets, and let's call y the cost student tickets. And we need 2 equations here. So what do we had? We had the first day we sold this, and the second day we sold this. So we're going to do an equation for both days, because that's the 2 things we have to measure here, right? So we're going to do one equation, day 1, and 1 equation, day 2. It's good to figure out what you're looking for, what your x and y is going to be, and also like what your equations are going to be. All right, let's get into it here. So day 1 sold 7 adult tickets, 7 times x, plus 6 student tickets times y equals 135. Double check I got that right. Yep. And then the second day we sold 1 adult ticket, so just x, plus 2 student tickets, 2y. It's going to equal $25. All right, so this one you could go either way. You could do substitution or elimination. You could multiply for elimination times -7 down here to cancel the x's, or you could multiply the bottom by -3 to cancel the y's and get 6y, -6y. But for this case, because we have 1x, I want to do substitution, make sure we are comfortable with that as well. So I'm going to get x by itself on the bottom here because x is the 1x, so we're going to subtract 2y from both sides. We're going to get x equals 25 minus 2y, or -2y plus 25. Okay, so substitution, what we're literally going to do is we're going to take whatever x is, or y is equal to, and we're literally going to substitute it into the other equation. So we're going to substitute in for x. So we're going to have 7 times x, which is 25 minus 2y, plus 6y, equals 135. Because we literally replace x with that, and the rest of the equation is the same. And the reason we do that is because now we have all y's, and we can solve something with all y's, which is great. Anything to distribute here, we're solving now. Yeah, I've got to distribute the 7 to the 25, 7 to the -2y, which is 175 minus 14y when you multiply 7 times both of those, plus 6y equals 135. Anything else to distribute? No? Any like terms? Yep, we got -14y and 6y. So we got 175 minus 8y. -14 plus 6 is -8. Subtract 175 to get 8y by itself. Oops, that should be an equals there. So we get -8y equals, that's going to be -40. 5 by -8. And y is going to be equal to $5 per student ticket. And then we're not quite done. We need to find adult tickets. So I'm going to plug into, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to plug into this right here. Because this one's already got x by itself. You can plug into any equation, especially one that you've like kind of adjusted a little bit, because it is an equality thing. So we're going to plug into x equals 25 minus 2y. Y equals 5, so I'm going to plug in 5 for y. So x is going to equal 25 minus 10. X is going to equal 15. $15 per adult. Adult. So So our final answer is going to be x and y 15, 5 is our final answer on the graph. All right, pause here if you need to catch up a little bit. All right, we're continuing. Number 4, the State Fair is a popular field trip destination. This year, the senior class at Central and senior class at Logan both plan trips there. The senior class at Central rented and filled vans and 1 bus with 159 students. Logan rented and filled 8 vans and 13 buses with 735 students. It's a pretty big senior class for Logan. Every van had the same number of students in it as did the buses. Find the number of students in each van and in each bus. Okay, so we're looking for numbers in the van, numbers in the bus. So we're going to call X students in van. We're going to call Y students in bus. Okay, and we have, we're measuring 2 different schools here. So we're going to do Central and Logan. Like I said, all these problems are pretty similar, so. Okay, then we're just going to fill in the information that we know. So X is students in vans. So Central had 12 vans and 1 bus, so 12x plus 1 bus is Y equals 159. And Logan had 8 buses, so 8x plus 13y equals 735. All right, so for this one, we could do substitution or elimination because we have a 1y here, but I like the 1y is helpful for elimination because what's the opposite of 13? It's negative 13. I can just multiply this one by negative 13, and that's going to take care of that. It's going to make that y a negative, which is really great. So the 1y or 1x is helpful for anything, but so we're just going to do elimination. We're going to attribute this negative 13 to both of these, all 3 of these, that is. So negative 13 times 12x, is negative 156x minus 13y equals, that's going to be a big number at the end there, negative 2067. Write the rest of the equation the same, 8x plus 13y equals 735. Okay. Now we need to add, because that's what elimination is. We're going to add, and the y's are going to cancel. Negative 156 plus 8x is negative 148x equals, when you add that, you're going to get negative 1332. Divide by negative 148. And x is going to be equal to 9 students per van. All right, and then we got to plug into one of the original equations. I'm going to plug into the 12x plus y equals 159. Either equation would work, though. We're going to plug in for x here. So we have 12 times 9 plus y equals 159. 12 times 9 is 108 plus y equals 159. Subtract 108. And y is going to be equal to 51 students per bus. Or final answer of x and y would be 9, 51. That's where the 2 lines would cross on the graph. All right, moving along. Last problem. You can pause the video if you need to catch up a little bit. Here we go. Number 5, last problem. Carlos and Danielle are selling flower bulbs for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy bags of windflower bulbs and packages of crocus bulbs. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Carlos sold 2 bags of windflower bulbs and 13 packages of crocus bulbs for a total of $163. Danielle sold 14 bags of windflower bulbs and 5 packages of crocus bulbs for a total of $195. Find the cost of each of 1 bag of windflower bulbs and 1 package of crocus bulbs. All right, so again, call our x and y. I'm going to call x cost of windflower bulbs, and I'm going to call y the cost of crocus bulbs. And we have 2 people here with a combination of different items, so we're going to call one equation is Carlos, and one equation Danielle. All right, so we're going to plug in stuff, the cost of each. Carlos sold 2 windflower bulbs times the cost of windflower bulbs plus 13 Crocus bulbs times the cost of Crocus bulbs equals $163 what he sold total. And then Danielle sold 14 windflower bulbs times the cost of that plus 5 Crocus bulbs times the cost of that equals $195. All right, this one I'd probably do elimination. 13 and 5 are not going to work out nicely, but I could multiply, what's the opposite of 14x? Negative 14x. I can multiply the other equation by negative 7 to get the opposite of that. So I'm going to rewrite that. We got negative 14x minus 91y equals negative 1141. And we have 14x plus 5y equals 195. We're going to add these. We're going to get, I'm going to write to the right over here, negative, oh wait, these are going to cancel. We're going to get negative 91 plus 5 is negative 86y. Then we're going to get negative 946 divided by negative 86. We're going to get y is equal to $11 per, $11 per Crocus bulb. Okay, and then we're going to plug into one of the other equations. I'm going to plug into 2x plus 13y, that one, equals 163. So we're going to plug in 11 in for y, because y equals that. So we have 2x plus 13 times 11 equals 163. Then we're going to 2x plus 13 times 11 is 143 equals 163. We need to get 2x by itself. So we need to subtract 143. 2x equals 163 minus 143 is 20. Divide by 2. And we're going to get x equals $10 for windflower bulbs. So our final answer is 1011. All right, so I went through that kind of quickly, but it's just because it's a lot to go through. I want to make sure we didn't take too much time on it. You guys feel free to pause the video and stuff when you're going through it, hopefully. But okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you soon.